So today I was telling you that I was going to do one handout with 4 different ideas. So you can kind of get a feel of how to adapt these handouts and things that I'm always sharing over on the blog to your class, because there's so many different ages and just one manual that you kind of have to adjust. Okay, so I'll show you the one that I started out with and then all the ideas from that. We kind of have a dual theme holiday over here today. I have to take Christmas pictures today, so it's kind of funny to see the stockings and then the Halloween in the same pictures, but you know, what are you going to do? So, I'm Camille over at Chicken Scratch and Sniff, and I'm always sharing LDS tips. Here's one of the handouts that I have. This one's just from the blog. It's from a Primary 3 manual that we used earlier this year. And I had extras, so why not use them to show you, right? Okay, so this is the original handout, okay? Now, if you're teaching a younger class, you can do this in a couple of ways. So what I did is I took that handout, and I had my son, who's in Sunbeams, color the pictures. So here's the picture that he colored, and then I cut it out, and I already had the string ready for him. So I put a bead on one end so the beads aren't going to come off, and I put the tape on the other end, you know, so they can easily thread it. And for younger classes, you obviously want beads with bigger holes, and older classes, you can get tinier. These are the ones that we used. So I just had him bead it, and we punched a hole, and we made a tie/necklace, right? Easy peasy. That's one way, okay? Or using that same idea for that same age group, Sunbeams, or the youngest, other younger classes, you can color it and use them for puppets. I didn't have any sticks, so this is just a plastic knife, so obviously you don't want to do that, but use sticks or straws and just make puppets. And then you can have them hold these and repeat the phrases that are in the lesson manuals that they're always saying, like, I can pray to Heavenly Father. And they can do the boy or the girl. And use that, and you can use that throughout the thing, okay? Okay, so still same handout, okay? Now I'm going to a little bit older of an age group to use that same handout. I mean, obviously you can color it, which is great, and I don't think that that's a bad thing, but you don't want to do it every week. So here's another idea. So, okay, so go ahead and color it again, right? But I cut out this one word right here. So instead of says, I can receive help from Heavenly Father when I pray, I cut it out. And I gave them a strip of paper, okay? And I just put as many numbers as I want them to think of, okay? And then they can just put it here. So I can receive answers. I can receive love. I can receive help. And so you can do that, and you can leave a little slat here if you just want to do a picture window instead. But you can use that handout this way. And you can kind of use it for the different points of your lesson and maybe jot notes down and then put it together at the end as well. And then this way when they come home, they actually interact with it more and it doesn't go straight in the trash can, although it still might. Right? Okay. Now we're moving on to a little bit of an older age category. You kind of have to test the waters to see how mature your class is, because some 8-year-old classes are super reverent and mature, and some of them are still a little bit younger in terms of their mindset. So you kind of have to get a feel for it. So here's one. Okay, so I cut out a picture of the boy praying on that handout. And you can give them each of these characters and then give them a blank piece of paper. And tell them to glue this onto their sheet and then use, hold on, I cut up all the words too. So give them the words and the pictures and say you have to use at least one picture and at least like 3 words. And I want you to make your own poster. And it's interesting to see what they come up with, because obviously this one has to do with how Heavenly Father can help you through prayer. But maybe they just put Heavenly Father helps me. Or maybe they just put I can pray to Heavenly Father. Or something like that. And then it'd be interesting to see what other pictures they draw. So this is a really good interactive one that they can use, and it kind of incorporates more doing. If you have a more active class, this is really good. And when they're done, everybody can show their pictures, or you can just put them up on the chalkboard and talk about them and go on with your lesson there. Okay? So there's one other idea. If you have questions about any of these ideas or ideas of your own, you can go ahead and put them in the comments as well. And if you have any questions about problems or ideas in your class that you need help with, just put them in and I'll answer them at the end as well. Okay? All right. Here's another one. So again, same handout as before. Let's see. Here's the original handout that we've been using. Okay? Same handout. This time, I cut the girl in half, okay, and I want them to draw the rest of this picture. And this could be a really easy way to introduce the topic for the lesson, because obviously she has her arms folded and her eyes closed, and you can tell from just the half of this picture. But it kind of gets them to get some more of their wiggles and noise out as they finish this one, okay? And then you can start into the rest of the lesson and talk about prayers. And then when they're done, you can also have them write all the way around this person, like you can do girls for girls and boys for boys if you wanted, and write things that they know about prayer, or things that they like about prayer, or things that they've learned about prayer, or things that you're going to talk about in that particular lesson. And they can just write it all the way around. So when you're done, you're actually using this handout through your whole lesson, and it kind of helps them remember the things that you've talked about. Okay? So, this is my last one, okay? I just cut out the pictures this time, and I left the words. And here's one for like the 11-year-old classes, 10-year-old classes. This works well. Young women's, I've done this a lot. Any of those classes it works well in. So you just use the words this time, right? And you say, I want you to draw me a Mormon ad, pretty much, based on these words. And you can bring in other Mormon ads so they can kind of think of ideas and things to do. But you should set some rules when you do this, okay? Number one, you can only draw stick figures. That's going to save you a ton of time and a lot of complaining, okay? So you can only draw stick figures. Number two, you can only use like 2 colors if you have markers. That way you're not spending all the time coloring it instead of actually drawing and moving on with the lesson. And then number 3 can be everybody has to do one, or everybody has to put something on the board. You don't have to actually talk about it if you don't want to. Something like that. So it gets those people that are more shy or embarrassed to participate without putting them on the spot as well. Okay? And if you do these kind of drawing activities, hi, welcome, drawing activities every week, they get kind of used, they aren't as hesitant to draw. So at the beginning when I did this with my young women's for a while, some of them were a lot more hesitant to do it. And by the end, when I got released, they were kind of excited and used to it and wanting to do it more because it did help them remember it and it got them involved in the lesson and things like that. Okay, so those of you that have just joined, I'm just going to show you the different ideas with the handouts one more time. Here is the original, okay? This was the original handout. It's from Primary 3 Manual, but it really could go with a lot of things because it's talking about help from Heavenly Father and prayer. Okay, so this works with a lot of different coloring pages. So 1, I just kept the words. They have to draw the rest. 2, I cut the picture in half. They have to draw the rest, and then they can use it around this for notes during the lesson. 3, we cut out the picture and the words and asked them to make their own pictures and use which words they wanted, and then started a discussion from there. Another one, oh, you already took your necklace away. Bring me your necklace back, Heber. All right, well, one of them was making a necklace. He doesn't want to bring it back because he likes it. The other one was making puppets from them and using these to help them remember to say certain phrases, the younger class. And then the last one, see, I gave you way more than 3 or 4, huh? Was to make kind of a slider and have them come up with answers to this so that they can come up with their own. And you can do this as a class or as individuals and see how far they get and then add to it throughout your lesson. Okay? Do you guys have any other questions about ways to adapt handouts to your class or anything else that's going on in your class today? That's okay if you don't. I'm going to put this video as well with a LDS teaching tip on the blog.